Hello and welcome to day 83. Congratulations, you have made it. All that there is left to do is step on the scale, get your final weight, get those final progress pictures, check that logbook, and see from the starting weight to now how far you've come. So that's what I'm going to dive into now. Let's go over some of the results of my transformation over the past 12 weeks.
Let's start with the weight. So we began at 207 and we finished the trainer at 239 pounds, so a 32-pound gain. Now let's dive into a few comparison progress pictures. Now I did compare different poses, but for the sake here, as I have in the other videos, we will be comparing the most muscular poses. That kind of gives you an idea of showing the most muscles at one time. So you can see on the left is my final pictures, on the right are the beginning pictures. I know I got those backwards for whatever reason, but you can see significant improvement. If you look at the legs, how much thicker my legs have gotten while still remaining defined and having some cuts. I'm very happy with that. The waist is slightly wider, but still very tight. My shoulders have come up dramatically, gotten much rounder. My arms, we'll be able to see those a little bit more clearly in the next slide, but you can see much more vascularity going on in the biceps, more details and separation and striations going on in the chest, and my neck and traps have dramatically gotten thicker as well. My face has also gotten a little bit rounder, as I do tend to store a little bit of water in that area when I am on a bulk. So I slid this over so you can see a little bit more clearly my arms, and you can see just how much thicker my arms have gotten. Both biceps, you can actually see the triceps sweeping out even from the front in this new picture. The added roundness and vascularity in the shoulders, and you can see a major improvement in the forearms, as I did focus on bringing those up and including brachialis and wrist curl exercises in the blueprint workouts, so my forearms came up dramatically. You can see here again, the legs so much bigger and more detailed, the waist still nice and tight, the chest is fuller and bigger, the shoulders are much broader, and I am very, very pleased with how far I came in just 12 short weeks. Let's dive into just a few of the strength gains I made over the past 12 weeks. So we had the incline barbell press, a huge strength gain in just a matter of 12 weeks. The bent over barbell row, I also increased the weight dramatically on pull downs and T-bar row, but the bent over barbell row is a good old-fashioned staple to measure strength in the back. Keep in mind, these are all with strict form. We also went up in weight with the behind the neck shoulder press. I built up to that. Moving on to legs, we've got the Romanian deadlift, dramatic increase, over 100-pound increase on strict Romanian deadlifts for the hamstrings and the back. Moving on to the belt squat, we made dramatic increases with that as well. Again, these are full range of motion, slow, controlled belt squats. And then with the leg press, we went up 3 plates aside for 20 plus repetitions of slow, controlled, full range of motion.
So I am super excited about that. The strength, muscle gains, and progress that I have made have been exceeding even my expectations on this trainer. And as the one who designed it, I had some pretty high expectations. So now that we've gone over my progress, and hopefully you've had a chance to document yours, let's dive into some of the things that I've learned over the past 12 weeks. I'm going to break down 5 key points that I took away from this trainer and I'm going to keep in future training and nutrition plans. Let's start with number 1, and that is the importance of documenting progress in the gym and progressive overload. While you can get away with making progress as you gradually get stronger without actually logging your workouts, there's a huge advantage to logging them and either trying to beat the repetitions or the weight with each workout. This gives you a specific goal in mind and ensures that you're not just doing the same thing day after day, week after week, year after year. This is where you see a lot of people who go to the gym. You've seen them there for 2-3 years doing the same exact workouts and they look exactly the same as well. You're not going to progress if you're not increasing repetitions, weight, form, and your nutrition strategy. So it's important to document these things and make sure that you're going in the right direction. Number two, I learned the importance of keeping slow, controlled form even as I've progressed up in weight. Now, this is something that I typically do, but I put even more emphasis on this in the 12 weeks, and I've been able to feel much better muscle contractions. My mind to muscle connection has improved, even as a veteran who's been doing this for a while. My pumps were insane, and most importantly, I was able to progressively overload for 12 weeks straight without any injuries. The only issue I had was that minor elbow strain at about the 6-week mark, and with one exercise adjustment, that went away completely, and I had no other issues. Number three, be consistent with your nutrition and weighing yourself even when you're on a bulk or a muscle gaining plan. This is something that I typically would avoid somewhat in the past. I would make sure I got my protein in, make sure I got my calories in, but otherwise I would allow myself a little bit more freedom when it comes to eating. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but there was a huge advantage to tracking exactly what I was eating and knowing the portions and the amount of proteins, fats, and carbohydrates so I could make proper adjustments every time my progress slowed, stalled, or I wanted to make an adjustment. Which goes into number four, making those adjustments as the plan goes along. My body started by putting on muscle and body weight very, very fast. And then as it started to slow down and I noticed a little bit more fat accumulation or water retention than I'd like, I was able to make that adjustment and go into more of a solidifying phase. So I was able to manipulate my protein, carbohydrates, fats, and calories throughout the trainer to ensure I was getting exactly the results I wanted and that the majority of the gains came from muscle, glycogen, and solid lean tissue. This is where it can be very beneficial to have a coach if you are new at this game or inexperienced in knowing how to manipulate those variables to get exactly where you want to be. So if you do need any extra help with that, feel free to reach out to me for coaching, or if you have a quick question and you're working on one of my Blueprint trainers, feel free to just shoot me an email or ask a question anytime as well, and I would be happy to help. And number five, I learned how important rest and recovery in those grow days are for making consistent progress. For years, I would do a typical bro split, and there is absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, you can make incredible gains with that. But I was in the gym for 5 or 6 days a week oftentimes, and that was just too much for my body. By backing down to what we have been doing with this 12-week blueprint of 3 days a week with a completely different style of training, I've been able to make incredible progress. I'm stimulating the muscles more frequently, able to progressively overload much more frequently, and I'm allowing my body a complete chance to recover. So it's the best of all worlds, and it worked wonders. I will definitely not be going over 5 days a week of training in the gym, as I have learned through this experience that my body responds really well to having those extra grow days to allow my muscle to repair and come back bigger and stronger next time I'm in the gym. And if I had to tack on a quick sixth lesson, that is quality is definitely more important than quantity. I removed any and all junk volume and majorly made some efficient changes to how my warm-ups ran, and my body responded much better to that. I was able to get in and out of the gym in an efficient time, working my entire body in a way that allowed it to recover without running down my central nervous system with unnecessary volume. Now that I've covered what I have learned, let's dive into what is coming next. So I already touched on this a little bit in an earlier video, and that is what is coming next for me. So after taking a week off to recover, reload, and allow the joints and central nervous system to fully repair itself, since 12 weeks is a long time of hardcore progressive overload training, I'm going to be starting a new series, the 6-week blueprint to living art. So this will be a trainer that allows us to solidify our new gains, shed body fat and any water retention that we're holding without being in too steep of a caloric deficit and risking losing those new muscle gains. So this will be the perfect plan to allow that muscle to harden and mature and adapt onto the body while shedding off any extra body fat or water weight that you may have accumulated. In fact, I am predicting that we'll be able to continue to put on some lean muscle mass, as we're going to continue with the progressive overload type strategy and the new workouts with the Blueprint to Living Art. As far as what you're going to do after this, you are more than welcome to join me in the 6-week Blueprint to Living Art. I would be very excited to have you as my virtual training partner, and I think that that is an optimal place to go to after our 12-week Blueprint to Muscle. However, if you are still on a heavy bulk, you're trying to pack on mass, and you notice really good results from the Blueprint to Muscle, you can take a week off and then run another round of that, just with some changes in exercises to freshen things up and make sure you don't hit any plateaus. All right, so for the final time in this trainer, that is going to wrap it up for today's video. I hope you enjoy your week off. Rest, recover, don't go too crazy with the food or eat unhealthy. Remember, whatever your plan is next, whether it's the 6-week Blueprint to Living Art or something else, you want to be able to jump right back in on track as soon as you have that week to recover and deload from the gym. So I thank you for joining me on this adventure. I had a wonderful time, and I look forward to seeing you in the start of the new Blueprint to Living Art. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video.